is an energy reading for Come to Center. Alright, so I have already surrounded us in positive space for the reading since I had to retrieve your code name. So I just do that to ensure that we're both safe, protected during the reading, and nothing can come through that isn't of a high energy, and nothing for me can be transferred to you or vice versa, is why I do that. I'm going to show you these two crystals. I always draw some crystals or sometimes other items that I feel are relevant in some way for the reading. I never normally know what the relevance is. Okay, so I have my Fuchsite here until as I'm into the middle of the reading. So I have my Fuchsite here, and this, because of the color, there is an association here with the heart chakra, and also it is very grounding. It has a calming effect, but mainly Fuchsite, it has to do with gathering psychic information of some kind. A lot of times it has to do with gathering information that helps you to heal yourself, or it helps you to heal somebody else. It can help you know what it is that you need to heal. Okay, so that's this one. Also, it helps you retrieve past life information and other psychic information, things you need to know. Then here I have my sunstone. So as you can see with all the oranges in it, this is actually mainly a solar plexus stone. So I know this has a lot of orange in it as well though. So to me, this is also having to do with the sacral because of the color and things that it has to do with. It does have a lot to do with the solar plexus, but for this reading, even more so, it has a lot to do with the sacral. So I'm going to tell you what I was already picking up, because it's the person's guides who give me the code name. And so whenever I'm retrieving the code name from their guides, a lot of times I'll start picking up on other things. Sometimes it takes them a minute to give the code name, or maybe they want to explain it for a second, and so I'll get other things. So in regards to these questions that you were asking, the first thing right away that came up, well, I'll go to the code name actually. When I was specifically getting the code name, first your guides kept saying that you were too open, and they were saying closing off. And it's almost like they were kind of deciding on the code name a little bit. I'm sure they already knew, so maybe that was something that they had kind of thought of before. I don't know, or maybe they were actually doing that right then in the moment. But it felt like, okay, closing off. And then I felt like there was kind of this feeling like they didn't want to use that code name. They didn't want to use that because you don't need to close off to everything. And then there was almost a feeling of too open, but there again, you're not too open to everything. And so they didn't really want to use that name. And then it just felt like come to center. And so kind of a feeling of being in the middle there as well. But also coming to center, it really means that you are balanced. You're balanced, you're sure of yourself, and you're coming to this place of stillness, really, you could call it, where you feel still, you feel peaceful, tranquil, you feel relaxed, refreshed. Okay, so kind of all around getting the code name, there were some other things that were coming through. And they're already saying something else. So I don't know what order they want me to go into. Okay, but I'm picking up on a Pleiadian connection here for sure with you. I actually feel like that's your origin. I feel like you're from there. They keep saying that. And then there's also a feeling like some kind of Native American lifetime as a female person, or okay, is that a guide, or is that a past life? That's a past life. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna move on into the other stuff now. Okay, so before I got the code name right away, I was picking up on this energy. Like when you took the ayahuasca, you had all of these other energies around you. It feels like you didn't do it alone. That was the feeling that I was getting. You said you took it numerous times, so maybe you did some of the time, but I'm almost certain that there were definitely some times there where you must have done this with at least a few other people, or maybe even a whole group of people. One thing that your guides were also saying after they gave me the code name was that you're very empathic and that you tend to absorb things and pick up on other people. And so right away, I can tell you that some of this stuff that you were seeing and getting or whatever, it wasn't your own stuff. The thing about ayahuasca or a drug like that, the purpose is meeting yourself. Sometimes it can be cleansing, like you go through your own fears and things like that. The problem can be if you do it with a group that you don't that you're not truly like compatible with in that kind of intimate kind of way, that kind of way where you feel really safe with them, like you resonate with them enough to the degree that you can really open up in that way and be safe. You're on the same wavelength, you're really resonating together, and then it can go smoothly. Even if it is a bigger group, but it is really better to do that either with a smaller group or just even alone. But for you, I really feel like it would have been better to do completely by yourself. Especially since, yeah, there's this feeling, like, I don't know, in some ways you weren't completely, even if you felt like you were, I feel like in some ways you weren't totally resonating with everyone that was around you, that was partaking in that. It's very important to know the people for sure that you're going to do that with. But it's also good to have known them for a little while, is what your guides are saying, and to be comfortable with them, and even with their blocks and you know, issues that they have and stuff. It's even good if some of your issues can be a little bit similar. Then it could be kind of a supporting environment where you're all kind of even clearing some things that are a little bit similar. In this case, though, it was like you were just absorbing a lot of other people's stuff onto you and into your auric field. And that was something that I started picking up on right away when I was surrounding you in the protective space. And so it just kind of felt like you were too open. And that's the thing. That's what something like ayahuasca does. And there's no way around that. You could be amazing at protecting yourself psychically. And as soon as you take a drug like that, you're going to open up no matter what you do. And so if you're around the wrong people, in a sense, which it just means people that you don't resonate with, not really the wrong people, as in like they could go and take that and they could have a positive experience or whatever. It means resonating with the people on a deep enough level that you feel really comfortable and at ease doing that, and like you're going to be safe. You're not really going to absorb anything, because if they have a thought form that is kind of similar to your own stuff that you're releasing, they're releasing it too. It's not going to want to travel to a person that's also releasing something similar. That would be bogus. So it just feels like you it does feel like you were releasing some stuff, but then it doesn't feel like you were able to really process that and almost have you time, which needed to be there when you were having that kind of experience. It feels like I'm around all these people and I'm really, really open because of this drug. And instead of having this profound psychic, spiritually advancing kind of experience where I grow and where I'm fulfilled by it, emotionally and just on deeper levels, I feel like I had an experience that I can almost move forward with, that I can take something back with, that I grew from, instead of having a really kind of profound awakening kind of type of experience like you would want. It feels like instead you really did pick up a lot into your aura. And the thing is, I feel like it's still there, and I feel like that's the reason that you think about it so much. I actually feel like this is almost something attempting to almost reach you. This is like a part of yourself knowing this, but I also even feel like some of it is, it's even brought up by your guides around you. It's like they're helping you, not like they're saying it to you, but it almost feels like they're helping you get in touch with that part of yourself that's saying, hey, something's off here. I don't feel right. I don't feel right since this experience. That's what it feels like. It kind of feels like your energy has been a little bit out of whack and not as almost whole or complete or together in a sense, like you were more so before. And you went there to have like the total opposite kind of experience from that. But they're saying that you can learn from anything, and it's really your viewpoint. Obviously, you can learn from something that we perceive as negative or that we perceive as positive, and it's just our view on it, obviously. But they are saying that this was a negative experience, and they're confirming that, which means that they need to confirm that. They need to say to you, this was a negative, mainly, experience, because it feels almost like there's some confusion about that. Even with this mantra that you were talking about, you didn't go into any detail about it, but right away when I'm feeling this stuff and I'm feeling your guides, and then even with the mantra, they start telling me that wasn't really you picking up on a guide when you received that. It doesn't even feel necessarily like it was negative exactly. It just feels like it wasn't for you. It feels like almost like it was just kind of pointless for you. It was just more confusion to the mix. The thing is, with a mantra or anything else that you receive, you're going to resonate with it. You're not going to feel confused and weirded out by it. That's not how you're going to feel about it. You're either going to feel like it makes sense or it doesn't. Even if like all aspects of it don't make sense, or even if you don't exactly understand it, you're still going to feel in a sense like you do, even though you don't. Like you're going to feel a resonation with it. In other words, you're going to feel like I received this information and it's beneficial for me. Not, I don't know what this means. I don't know if this is good, if this is bad. What is this? Where did this come from? Was this a guide sending me this? Was it myself? Was it something that I don't need? This doesn't even feel like something good or bad to me, other than just general confusion and just almost something thrown in there that doesn't really help you at all. That just didn't really do anything is the feeling of it. And they're saying that there's almost this feeling like you would feel disappointed, or you would hate to think that you did all of that and you didn't, in a sense, obtain anything valuable or positive from it that you can really grow from in the way that you wanted. But they want to make sure that even though you have that feeling, that you don't, out of that feeling, try and make this into something that was positive in any way or beneficial. What makes it positive is whatever you do with the information now. I do feel like you need to clean out your aura. I don't really get a feeling that it was because of shamans exactly. Because the thing is, I feel this feeling like they've done this with a lot of different people, and different people may have had, a myriad of different reactions. So it doesn't feel like it was them in particular, but it does feel like other people who were also taking this, it feels like you were kind of absorbing some of their junk as they were releasing it. So when you're a very empathic person, you have to really be careful about things like that. If you're releasing something, and mainly if other people are releasing something around you, even if somebody is going through something and crying a whole lot, if you don't know them really well and you don't feel really comfortable with them and like you can support them through it, and you're not really going to be bothered or pick up on a bunch of crap from it, then it's best to kind of let it go and let someone else who knows them better and, is not going to feel burdened by it. Or even if you do know them really well, if you don't feel to, if you feel to more close off, then that's a good thing, and you should respect that about yourself. You should respect your own space, because you're not really going to help the person just by absorbing their stuff. So we're already to the time limit. But yeah, you do need to do something to cleanse your aura. And they're not saying to me exactly what that is. So that tells me you're going to find this some other way, or it could just even be because the time limit is up. Okay, so that is all that they have to say for this reading. So thank you very much for allowing me to connect to your guides and bring this message through. I truly hope that this benefits you. Thank you very much. Namaste.